This is football prime time. I'm your host, Sam Wu, here with Billy Dean and AJ talking some football. There's no off season with us. We were just a little lazy before. And also I see a dog walking in the background. And you know what that means, Jets fans. When you see a dog walking in the background of a football podcast, it means the Jets will get at least one win next season. One win,
that's a good
guaranteed.
That's a very good prediction.
Absolutely.
We're back, baby. I like being back.
Yeah.
I like talking football. It's
I love
been an
football.
interesting. Yeah, obviously. I mean, you got a football cooler behind you, Giants.
It's pretty nice.
You're rocking.
Yeah.
Love.
Hey, do you know what's in the cooler? Let me show you what's in the cooler.
Ice cold water.
Hold on a sec.
Let's see here.
What do we got?
It's got to be something good.
Meet the Mets. Meet the Mets. Come out to the park and greet the Mets. Hot dogs, green grass, all that shay. I am plugging the Let's Go Mets podcast today, starting April 1st on the Primetime Radio Network. Anyway, I just made that up as I was going along, but I'm fired up.
Lyrical.
I'm fired up. I barely read the show notes, so I'll let you guys start. I think it has something to do with certain Purdue quarterback, because I think we've got a Purdue fan on this podcast. So, but don't let me interrupt you. You guys go.
Well, we'll do a couple notes, and then we got some Giants Jets talk, which I want Mr. Wu involved with. So we'll get him back in. But yes, a certain Purdue quarterback, San Diego Charger first round pick, and then future Ring of Honor for the Saints, as well as Hall of Famer. Drew Brees retired. Brees 42. He actually had his sons and his daughter announce his retirement, which was cute. Yeah. So they retire as the NFL's all-time leader in career passing yards at 80,358. He also ranks second all-time in touchdown passes, which him and Brady were going on and off during the season. The completion percentage, which is awesome, at 67%, leads the league and by a good number too. So here's my question. Even Sam can kind of get into this too. Has there ever been a player more synonymous with a franchise or with a city, like a player that's been so tied to a team that, you know, it's for what he's done for New Orleans, obviously what New Orleans has done for him too. He even said that from, you know, battling Katrina and then, you know, the Superdome and all this issues. And then he comes in, leads them to a Super Bowl eventually. He's been, you know, their heart and soul for what is it, 12 years, 11 years or whatever he's been there. You know, is there a player more synonymous to a team? I was trying to think of guys you could think of. And, you know, you might think Cleveland with LeBron James, but even then, I mean, he left for Miami and then he left for the Lakers. So can you really say that? You know, you just think about all these guys and who comes to mind when you talk about that. I guess Dan Marino maybe with Miami, but even then he didn't mean so much to the city.
I mean, I think the only other one, I mean, I guess, yeah, city-wise, I mean, you could put maybe like Adam Graves, but I mean, that's more of a local guy that you think of, you know, like the Rangers, things like that.
Yeah.
Nationally, kind of well known for it. Yeah, I mean, he's done so much for that city, and you know, not many people know it too, but you know, just for Purdue itself, you know, he donates all the time. A couple of years ago, actually, when I think it was my freshman year of college, he donated the whole facility for football. 'Cause, you know, they don't put any money towards, you know, their football team, anything like that. It's all, you know, boosters and things like that. So, you know, he donated a boatload of money, you know, for that program. But yeah, just everything that he's done for the city of New Orleans is crazy. You know, he's such a great career. I'm glad he retired a Saint. You know, I wish that, you know, he had the opportunity to win another Super Bowl. I think he's very well deserving and thing like that. But
yeah, so close too in so many years where he was, you know, obviously with, you know, the pass interference gate and that whole rule came back later.
What's up, Sam?
What do you got, Sam? I can hear you, bud.
Oh boy.
I know this is a Drew Brees love fest to start the podcast. But
Oh,
can
let's
I
get it.
slander the guy? Can I just slander him?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
To me, he would be a San Diego Charger.
Wait, you mean when he retires, that's the jersey you should be wearing?
Yeah. Okay.
Can ceremony as a Charger, that'd be great.
Honestly, had the Chargers known what Drew Brees was really capable of, would they have? It would have changed history completely. I mean, it was Brees. I mean, Brees comes in out of nowhere. Okay, he was a decorated Big Ten quarterback.
Yeah.
Yep.
I booed him. Vinny Sutherland one time gave me the finger while I was on the, at Penn State. It was Penn State, Purdue, and Penn State had a really bad team that year, but somehow they pulled off that victory. And I was chanting, "No more Heisman!" And Drew Brees, he's a competitor. Got through my banter,
Your antics.
in the stands. Gets drafted by the San Diego Chargers.
Yep.
But my goodness, for a Giants fan, if San Diego, if they thought Drew Brees was the future and would have known, not saying that Phillip Rivers was not the guy.
Yeah.
What would have happened with that Eli Manning scenario? What could have actually happened? Traded down, and then
they probably still would have made the same trade. I would assume they would have still made the same trade with the Giants. Well, no, because they would have the first overall pick. They would have traded that. And then they could have even traded down more to gain extra. I mean, you could have had something. I mean, this is just, we're going down a rabbit hole here, but you think about the careers that are intertwined. I mean, you had Miami. If he had went to Miami, Dante Culpepper doesn't go down there. Nick Saban doesn't leave. It's just the changes that happen. Obviously, it would have been. I mean, it's interesting to think about, but I think the Chargers are happy with what they did. They got Phil Rivers, who's a Hall of Famer. That they have. Yeah, I mean, you think about it. These two guys retired the same year.
Yeah.
And you have two guys that are. And this is another question coming up for you guys. I think Drew Brees is a top 10 quarterback of all time. I have a hard time putting him in the top 5. I was thinking about this. You think about the top 5 guys, and this is not in any order. But just between Peyton, Brady, Montana, Johnny Unitas, and then I think the 5th for me is Dan Marino. But you could say Drew Brees maybe over Dan Marino. I don't think I'd give it to you, but he's close to that top 5 of all time category. I mean, you throw some other guys, but he's definitely top 10 QB that's ever played the game, and so much fun to watch. Being a short guy, 6 foot, he revolutionized the sport for the short quarterbacks. And just the completion percentage, and he was always accurate. I know at the end of his career, his arm was kind of shot, and he'd do more dinks and dunks, but that's still an impressive thing that you can continually be an upper elite quarterback, and leading your team to playoffs. To me, I mean, he's one of the best that I've ever seen.
I think it kind of goes to show you how these older quarterbacks can still survive in the league. They might not have the arm strength or
Tom Brady.
You got to have the accuracy, that's for sure, but you don't necessarily need the arm strength to sling the ball, 60, 70 yards. You can actually pick apart defenses just by knowing schemes and just the amount of games.
I'll tell you, I've been hard on Drew Brees just because it's a Big Ten thing for me. But I'll be serious now. When he came out of college, I didn't think he would amount to something because he was in a shotgun offense the entire time. Yeah. Remember the time period that Drew Brees came into the league, early 2000. All he did was from the shotgun and just rifled it to a guy that was like 5 feet away from him, and hopefully he would get yards, after the catch, right? So he comes into San Diego. He overachieved, and I thought maybe that's as far as he was going to get. Like, okay, he's a starter in the league. But who would ever
Yeah.
thought that going to New Orleans with all the problems that they had after Katrina, right? All sorts of problems. Joe Horn, taking cell phones out of his, cell phone out of his sock,
Yeah.
After a touchdown, all that
Yep.
stuff. And with Sean Payton, who pretty much got ousted by the Giants as assistant coach because Fossil had to take over the playbook because it was too complex. Yeah. He goes to the Cowboys, I believe, and then he takes
Dolphins.
the head coaching job, right? And then, boom, here comes Drew Brees, and they win. They actually bring a Super Bowl to New Orleans. Who dat?
Really picked up that city.
Yeah. So you got to give him a lot of credit. I mean, nobody could do that.
Yeah, I really don't think that there's a team that has such a tie to a player that, is so deep and so rooted because just of what they have done together. And it's a cool thing. Congrats to him. He actually still is the all-time passing leader at Purdue with 11,792. Curtis Painter's number 2. His touchdowns, he's got 90. Mark Herman is second with 71. He destroyed the Purdue quarterback stats, and I don't think that's going to change.
Yeah, no.
But yeah, fantastic quarterback. So
think about Drew Brees, one of the best of all time in football, and also one of his classmates. I don't know if they actually had class together, but Ryan Newman, NASCAR. Ryan Newman in auto racing is pretty, no slouch, right? So, congratulations to Purdue. That's the only thing that you've ever produced. I'm kidding.
Also, I'm going to say for Purdue, if you look at their quarterback lists throughout the years, from Len Dawson to Bob Greasy to Jake Plummer, they've had some really good quarterbacks come through that system.
They're known for as being the cradle of quarterbacks for a reason.
Yeah.
Granted, it hasn't happened since Breeze, but
Curtis Painter was not good.
No. But they've had a string. But hey, maybe we're the wide receiver producers of
we'll see
coming up.
Yeah. So back to the Saints though quickly and post Breeze, losing him his retirement does lower that cap hit. They lowered it almost $100 million when they cut. With his retirement, they also cut Emmanuel Sanders. They cut Janoris Jenkins, Quan Alexander, Thomas Morstead, Josh Hill. Jameis Winston then resigns to be their starting quarterback, possibly with Taysom Hill getting a brand new. This is crazy. So Taysom Hill gets a 4-year, $130 million deal, although only $12 million of it is guaranteed. So he has just performance bonuses after performance bonuses to make $130 million, which Peyton might get him that, that salary. I could see him being the starter next year and Jameis is sitting on the sideline.
That's the big thing too. It's like you wonder what that offense is going to look like. Obviously right now it looks like Winston's going to be the starting quarterback.
I don't think so. I think it's Taysom. Who started?
I just
you say I've got a
no. I will say something. Did you see the statement that he put out about how much he loved? Yes, about Drew Brees.
Yeah,
when you read that, there is a man on a mission.
Yeah.
Someone that's very talented, was very humbled by watching Drew Brees play this season under such duress with injuries and all that. I would not underestimate a guy that's on a 1-year contract in New Orleans that really wants to prove himself.
Hey, he's going for that rare 40 for 40 or 40 and 40 in a season.
I'll say,
and who knows? Maybe he signs that. He gets a big ticket from like the Bears or something. The Bears signed him like a 5-year deal, and he's terrible for there. That'd be fantastic. Just some schmuck team, signs it for a
5-year deal and a lifetime supplies of snow crab, right?
Yeah, that would be yes, that's fantastic.
Well, so if I don't know if you've noticed, I've been kind of looking over here. We got our other brother here in the background.
Statistician.
Yeah, it was his birthday the other day, so.
Happy birthday, Kevin.
We were kind of celebrating a little bit here today, at least with Billy and Beth and the little one. But he was just saying that Winston was crying actually when Breeze retired. Apparently.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, like you said, a lot of love for him.
Hey, and he got LASIK. Maybe he can see the linebackers and so he doesn't have to keep throwing it to him.
I mean, you never know. You never know. Like, you never know with some of these players. That could maybe improve his game. Like, I know we're going to be it's baseball, but Dom Smith, he gets a CPAP machine, and suddenly he's a hitting machine.
Yeah,
just for those
awesome.
little things. Yeah. So, me, if I eat more buffalo wings, maybe I'll do more football podcasts.
Yeah.
You never know.
You gotta just keep eating more buffalo wings. You got to do more of these.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, before we do get to the Jets and the Giants, there's a couple more things. So the NFL and NFL Players Association agreed Wednesday to a salary cap of $182 million, $182.5 for 2021, which is a long-anticipated 8% decrease from last season. This is per Adam Schefter. The drop-off will force teams to make difficult roster decisions in the coming days and weeks. So you're probably going to have a lot of veterans that are going to be out of jobs coming up soon, which is good for teams that are looking for upgrades in talent. So I know that the NFL also sent out, if you want to go over the memo, AJ.
So another little thing on that too is a lot of players, it seems have been signing kind of less years. Yeah. As recently, like 2 to 3 years instead of 4 or 5. So maybe a lot of these players too are noticing it, and with the contracts of the TV rights, kind of was it Amazon or Disney? Disney is one of them. A lot of them are looking for that bump in a couple of years for when those contracts, kind of kick in, more money comes in. So it should be interesting.
What is it, Thursday night is all Amazon, right?
You have Amazon, you have
Amazon Prime.
Yeah, Amazon, and then you have Disney. The empire that is.
Yeah, I think only local networks get their teams Thursday night games. Everything else is through Amazon Prime, so you have to be a subscriber. So the NFL going after the big bucks, and I mean, smart to do so.
I think I'm going to lose a lot of money out of the deal.
Yeah,
and this is how what I'm saying. You're talking about Amazon. Most of us have Amazon Prime, right? Yeah. Most of us have Amazon Prime. Somehow, in some way, I'm going to get suckered into buying something in the middle of the game. I'm calling because they're going to have some like only on Amazon Prime only. Get your New York Giants, cool ski cap that you can but it serves as a flask, and you can smuggle in some drinks into the
free
game.
2-day shipping. Free 2-day shipping.
Yeah. Or an NFL mask, but really you've got beer in there, hidden in there, and they would never know through security, right? Crap like
that. They start advertising ways to get past NFL security.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, and it's like, you better do it now, otherwise it's going to be shipped to you in 2 days, not 1.
Yeah. You don't get the free overnight.
Yeah. Or
Prime doesn't count. Yeah.
Or something like this. Too fat? ? Get your buffalo wings served to you at 4 p.m. before the start of your favorite football team here on Amazon Prime.
Yeah. Guaranteed delivery. NFL, all these sports leagues, and we talk about it with the hockey show, right? That, they're looking for the big bucks, and they're getting them with just these different streaming services and ways to get it with networks. NHL with ESPN is going to bring so much more money to the game, now that this is going on. And as we speak, NHL Rangers up 2-0. Take that, Sam. But back to football, the best sport there is. They're doing the right thing. They're doing the smart thing by getting more money and more fans to watch. Yeah. And Amazon Prime's going to get it. So.
Yeah.
I just got to add one thing. See, we're giving marketing tips to Amazon. How about, because Whole Foods is involved with Amazon. Amazon basically owns the world right now. So I can foresee that with your Amazon Prime that, hey, get your platter specials at Whole Foods, the healthy version, the unhealthy
for those
version,
vegans.
Whatever. Yeah, for those Vegan Thursdays on Amazon Prime. Yeah.
Yeah, Steve's just going to get a whole bunch of Amazon Prime orders now.
Moving on.
So, yeah. So now this memo that the NFL sent out, AJ, why don't you go through this?
Just little things, kind of the NFL kind of getting back to some kind of normalcy. They sent a memo out today saying that they can allow up to 10 fully vaccinated, employees, into a draft room. They don't have to wear masks. They don't have to practice social distancing. They can actually eat and drink food. They stated though that if you're gonna have anybody that's not vaccinated, you can have up to 20 personnel, and then they kind of have to adhere to the normal guidelines that they've had of social distancing and all that. So it's kind of good just to see a little bit of normalcy, kind of come out. I know there's been a lot of talks, not just with the 17 game season potential coming out, but players kind of wanting to have all still virtual, training camps and things like that, and the owners wanting to have them back in. So it's nice to see some kind of normalcy come out. Kind of as the season ramps up.
Yeah, and these GMs and these scouts are going to want to be in a room together, talking about these prospects that, they've had a tough time really scouting out this past season with just everything that's been going on with COVID and the football season for college. So, you're also getting guys going to like the scouting combines now and kind of cheering each other on. So that's good. But now, and this is the fun part, a 17-game season is on the table.
That's awesome.
Every other season, AFC, NFC gets one more home game. So, more football is always good for me. I know that the players, I'll give them 2 buys. I don't care about that. Get more money. Get as much as you can. That's fine. Get a guarantee. Yeah. If they allow more guaranteed contracts, I'm okay with all this. Just give me more football.
Yeah, the only caveat, obviously I think we would all take more football, more meaningful football, because they would be getting rid of one preseason game, but a lot of those starters don't necessarily play in all those preseason games. They play maybe 1 or 2, if that.
Yep.
Some guys sit out the whole preseason.
But, get rid of all of them.
The only thing that I do have a little bit of a, quarrel with the NFL is, they're all about player safety, but you see some of these guys, how they're so banged up that they can't, function, that Monday, and now you're going to have them play in another game, put their bodies through more and more,
The way I see this, right, if you give them more of this, more of the money, they'll play through that injury in a heartbeat.
And I don't disagree too that they're willingly signing up for this. They're modern day gladiators. All that kind of stuff. But it's still when they say that they're all for player safety, this isn't something that I think is a positive in that sense. They haven't come out with, at least I haven't seen anything. With them saying they're going to have 2 buys or anything like that.
So what did I see about that? I thought they're definitely talking about the 2 buys, and then there was something about guaranteed money being more prevalent, I guess, with how they were going to set it up. I'd have to look back into that a little more. We'll do some more homework and we'll get it to you guys. But I definitely think that it's something that every football fan's going to want and is going to need, and you just can't go wrong with watching more football. So, all right, some unfortunate news out there, and this involves one of the guys that I thought was going to be traded this offseason, Deshaun Watson. And now, first of all, these are allegations. No one's throwing any, certainties on out there. But there are 14 allegations of sexual misconduct. I think it's up to now 16. But if it's true, if it's true, got to really hope that the NFL takes care of this and he's no longer part of the league. But if it's not true, he should be exonerated and hopefully he gets to go out and be the person that, from the public eye, we've seen, right? He's always been the player that everybody likes and has heard good things about. And all of a sudden, this comes down the pike, and it's definitely a tough thing to watch to see. But we bring this up because he was prevalent in the news. He was supposed to be traded this offseason and be a big ticket and someone that's going to change the whole entire draft, and I just don't think that's going to happen anymore.
Yeah. And you saw too that Houston signed Tyrod Taylor. It's probably most unlikely that he'll be traded anytime soon to any team. I don't think any NFL team would touch him right now.
They can't. That's the problem.
we'll see what happens. With everything that plays out. If he'll play, what will happen. So it's unfortunate news to hear.
Something like this, Deshaun has to address it first before football. You hope that these are not true, but again, more oftentimes we jump to conclusions. Let it all play out, and let all the evidence out, and then we can make our assessment. I hate it when things go through the media. These are serious allegations, and it's what I always say. If I wasn't there to see it, I shouldn't comment at all, because these are very serious allegations that the authorities are going to look into.
Yeah, the only reason I bring it up, right, is because it changes the whole aspect of the draft and how these teams are going about. This is a big name that all of a sudden is no longer he just can't be traded, right? No one's going to take on that risk at the moment, even though it might not be a risk. It might just, that's just how NFL is going to have to play it. And it's like we said, it's a sad thing to see, but hopefully it gets squared away and we can kind of go through it as the legal system plays out. But speaking of another quarterback and another guy that could have been in the news determining where he plays, Dak Prescott. This was a couple weeks ago, but he agreed to that 4-year, $160 million contract after the injury that he had with his leg. It's good to see him get paid. As much as I dislike him, as I'm a Jet fan, I don't like him just because he's a Cowboy, but I think he is a stand-up guy, and he's worked hard for this, right? A third-round pick that became the starter after Tony Romo leaves, and he's been fun to watch, and they have a good team when he's on the field.
I say force Tony Romo out.
He did force Tony Romo out.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's an above-average quarterback, personally. But I mean, I think you could kind of see what Dallas was without him.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah, it was not good.
They had Andy Dalton and I forget the backup's name, but
not great.
Yeah, not good.
So, I mean, you wonder, I guess, how much of that is just him knowing that system.
Yeah,
part of that. But I mean, it's awesome to see guys that are he's a franchise guy.
Yep.
Hopefully, signed big deals and things like that. These guys deserve to get paid, for what they do.
All right, Sam, you're G-Men, right? So let's go through the signings first, and then we'll talk about it a little bit. So they do sign wide receivers John Ross as well as Kenny Golladay, big-time signing. They also signed cornerback Adoree Jackson, running back Devontae Booker, who will now fill in for Wayne Gallman as the backup to Saquon. They re-signed Leonard Williams to a 3-year, $63 million deal, $45 million guaranteed. They do lose captain and defensive tackle, who was a run-stopping beast, Dalvin Tomlinson, to the Vikings. He was the third best interior D lineman per Next Gen Stats. Giants also cut Zietler, the guard, and he did sign with the Ravens. Ravens always seem to find those cut players that come in and play well. So you hope as a Giant fan that that's not the case here, but. The big signing, Kenny Golladay, big money contract. A lot of people were shocked that he signed with the Giants. In terms of needs, I still think, defensive end is one of the big ones. And then, you can think about it, maybe a tackle. I know that they are expecting, their tackles now to take a step up, the two rookies from last year. They're also looking to, have who's the left tackle? Solder, come back and play guard. So, what's your thoughts, Sam? I know you're a Giant fan. You got to be kind of happy with what they've done so far, other than Tomlinson. I think that stunk.
Happy, but risky. I think these are all risk moves. This is high risk, high reward. Gettleman's not getting any younger. He's in his 70s now, technically. He's going for it, which as a fan I like.
Yeah.
What I'm most impressed about is not so much the signings, is Joe Judge's name always being thrown around. Yeah. Why like Rudolph? Why why are you signing with the Giants? Because Joe Judge is a straight shooter. Like Joe
they like Judge.
Judge, was very transparent, very upfront, and that's his personality. He is no BS. He says, "This is how we do things here. This is why we're going to have success. This is why we like you." Daniel Jones recruiting had something to do with it. I think there's a lot of testimonial coming from the Giants players. I think this is all good, but I kind of want to wait and see because I think a lot of these signings are kind of risky. With the foot injury, okay, he'll be ready by first game of the season, hopefully. But Galladay, not so sure yet. I'm not so sure yet. It kind of resembles a Burris, but could this be the 2016 Giants, where you have one good year and then suddenly flop? But I don't think so because there's a big difference between McAdoo and Judge. Big difference.
Yeah. I mean, so right, they get you got Saquon coming back, right? You have Devontae Booker backing him up, who did really well in the Raiders last year. Mike Glenn in the neck comes in to back up Daniel Jones, so you got a decent backup. Kenny Golladay, John Ross, Sterling Shepard, Darius Slayton. You have four guys that. Yeah, you have a really good wide receiver core. And for a young quarterback that's learning his ways still, to have those big guys, and especially Golladay now, he can do jump balls. You have the slot receiver with really Shepard, and I think Slayton is that X guy. And John Ross taking the top off the defense. I think they even have Joe Webb. I thought I saw something about that, the former quarterback for Minnesota that is doing wide receiver as well. So that's always interesting. But tight end, Evan Ingram, if he could take a step up. You have Kyle Rudolph as that blocking / tweener guy. You got Andrew Thomas at left tackle. You got Matt Pert at right tackle. You're hoping those two really take a step forward. I thought Pert was awesome last year. I really liked him coming out of college at UConn. Solder now goes to guard. You got Lemieux, Gates, Hernandez. You got interchangeable pieces at those guard spots in center. I like the offense. I really do. Looking at the defense, you do lose your big guy, Dexter Lawrence. You need to have step up for Tomlinson. You got Leo on that right D end, the left D end. I don't really know. That's where I'm thinking you need some D end space, but D end players. But you got to like your linebackers. Reggie Ragland, Blake Martinez was awesome last year. James Bradbury at that corner spot was fantastic, and then they bring in the speed guy in Jackson to kind of play. You have a lanky guy in James Bradbury to guard those tall receivers, and now you have someone that could take the speed guys and kind of neutralize them in Jackson, and then you guys like your safety in Logan Ryan, and Jabril Peppers had a resurgent year. I mean, as a Giant fan, you got to like this. What's going on, and this draft picks coming up can really solidify a team. And if you can bring in some help at either guard or maybe it's another cornerback in this draft, you got to like it.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I'll tell you what. This draft, I'm telling you, they've invested a lot on this offense. Yeah. If Micah Parsons is on the board, go get him. Go get him immediately. Yeah. Because right now, they were talking, all the mock drafts, the experts, whatever, they're talking about wide receiver or, hey, potentially if that tight end actually falls on your lap because Jason Garrett loves, the tight end setup. I'm telling you, championships are built with a great defense. And you bring in Micah Parsons, who could be all over the place. And I know I'm a little biased, but I'll tell you what, he is as athletic as LeVar Arrington. And if he can keep himself healthy, that defense would really shore up that linebacker position because other than Blake Martinez, you name the other guys, you really, for a Giant, traditionally, the Giants defense always had the big names. Always had that big, Antonio Pierce when he played. He was the
Yeah.
middle linebacker, and obviously Lawrence Taylor and Carl Banks, and
Sam, it goes to last year. Who was the guy that you wanted last year that we were talking about in the draft? That's all you wanted was this guy at number 4 before Andrew Thomas, and that's when you went nuts. But who was the defensive player at 4 that you wanted so badly? I'll give you a hint if you want.
he's dead to me because I'm over it.
Isaiah Simmons, Clemson. I mean, you were all over the Giants taking him at that linebacker spot. He's been fantastic for Arizona, especially when they lost their defensive end for the year. He was fantastic, and the Giants are made for linebackers, right? That's their MO. They've always had awesome linebackers, and if you can get probably one of the top 5 talents in Micah Parsons at the 11 spot, which I think where the Giants draft right 11. I mean, that's one heck of a value, and it's something you really want to see your team do.
And I'm hoping Saquon is going to be twisting some arms for this. Anybody that comes out of Penn State, I mean, there have been a lot of great linebackers, but I'm telling you, there's something special about this one, like Saquon. Just the athleticism is just remarkable, and he had a year off, so he's going to be fresh, but he may be a little rusty in the beginning. But again, I think the Giants should be done with their offense. I mean, they've got Saquon, Daniel Jones, with their higher first round picks. Obviously they had multiple, but I just think that they've just invested so much in that offense. It should just go right now.
Yeah, I think the only other place you might want to go, right, is if you traded down and maybe got a guard or something like that, maybe deeper in the draft if you got picks. But, yeah, I'd go defense all the way. You got Caleb Farley, the cornerback. There's a couple DNs that could really be useful for the Giants running that 3-4. I go defense. I go linebacker. If you get Micah Parsons or like I said, a cornerback, that's the way I go at the 11 pick for the Giants. All right, so AJ, why don't you take the Jets this time?
Yeah, Jets. I thought made some pretty good signings. You had Corey Davis. Signing 3 years, $37.5 million, $27 million guaranteed. Gerard Davis. Who knows what happened with Mosley there, signing at linebacker. Defensive end Carl Lawson signing, and you got running back Tevin Coleman.
Yep.
And Sheldon Rankins also signing recently. So all I like all those signings. I definitely think at least with the draft, one thing that I've seen,
that's tough.
Jets still need a lot, but running back, I don't think they have a set starting running back per se.
See, the problem is we're at that 2 spot, right? And it's so let's go to the signings first, because then we'll go into the draft stuff a little bit, because we'll do have a draft preview show and then a draft follow up. All right, so the signings, you get a guy in Corey Davis who with Tennessee,
career year,
had a career year, but was uber talented. Like I thought he was going to be the best wide receiver coming out of that draft. He was he's been underrated this couple years, but he's also been down, right? You were expecting so much more for such a high pick and a guy with so much talent. He's going to make a lot of guaranteed money, $27 million, which that's definitely high risk. But with him, Jamison Crowder, you got Denzel Mims, second round pick from last year, who started to come on. You got Josh Doxson, Braxton Berrios, you got some other guys. Keelan Cole, they also sign as a 4th wide receiver. So also Keelan Cole kind of plays that same Jamison Crowder role. So I wonder if they're going to cut Crowder. I mean, there's a lot of money due to him. We'll see. I kind of want to keep Crowder, but who knows? Tight end, I mean, they signed Tyler Kroft, but Chris Herndon has been bad. Yeah. They need help there, bad. You got the left tackle in Becton. The guards, I mean, you got Dan Freeney, Alex Lewis, Greg Van Roten was pretty good. McGovern at center. George Fant at right tackle. I mean,
it sucks that they missed out on.
I wanted Joe Tooney so bad, and I also wanted Corey Linsley, and I figured if you could have gotten a guard or a center, and brought those guys in and really fortified that line, that'd be a big thing. And that's kind of what I wanted in the beginning with Penei Sewell. I wanted to get that other tackle, solidify that line, make it so that it's beastly. But now the problem is, right, who knows what the Jets want to do with Sam Darnold? I know they're singing his praises. They're giving him the prop up. But the unfortunate part is all the trades have kind of happened for quarterbacks. So now the teams are looking towards the draft. So, the Bears with Dalton, and you got in Indy, you got Carson Wentz, and you got all these guys around. So who knows what teams are going to really want Sam Darnold? Maybe San Fran if they can get them to bite on it.
I say if I think if you look at the draft and what's there, I don't really see us getting much back for Darnold.
See, I still think we could get a low end 1, high end 2, and I guess I would definitely take that. Just because what I've seen from Sam, even though I still like him and I think he could be a good quarterback in a right system, which definitely wasn't the last 2 systems that we had for him. But yeah, the offense, so that's right. So we'll go defense first, and then we'll come back to the draft part. But they do sign Carl Lawson, who was awesome this past year, and especially in terms of pressures, which usually is a good indication of future play and his ability to get after the quarterback. Sacks, things can happen, right? But if you pressure the quarterback, that's usually a good sign. They do get Sheldon Rankins. I know he's had an injury history, right, the last two years since that playoff game where he got hurt. He was a backup last year, but he does have the talent at that nose tackle spot or that left D tackle spot because now you have Quinnen at the right D tackle. They're going to go more of a 4-3 now. You got Fatukasi and John Franklin Myers. John Franklin Myers was really good last year, getting pressure from the interior line. Vinny Curry at the right day end. I think they still need a good pass rushing defensive end, and I know they're going to try with the 3rd round pick last year, Zanuga. Their linebackers, AJ talked about it, right? Gerard Davis, you got CJ Mosley. They both play the same position. Are you going to move Davis to a weak side linebacker or a strong side? I mean, I guess you could if you really want to. You kind of have the same player. They both aren't very good at in coverage. You got Blake Cashman, who they're hoping can step up a little bit, but I think they're going to try to deal Mosley at the draft or see what they can get. I don't think they're going to cut him. I just don't think there's too much dead money there. And then, at the safety cornerback spot, Bless Austin, Bryce Hall, they got some guys that are okay. I need some more cornerbacks. And then lastly, the safety. Marcus May gets the franchise tag. They have LaMarcus Joyner. And then you got Ashton Davis, who's that kind of that slot corner hybrid safety type. So
still definitely a need.
There's a lot of needs. I mean, you go through this, and I'm not overly, I'm excited about Lawson. I'm excited about Quinnen. I do like Sheldon Rankins, but other than that, you have guys, Bryce Hall, you're hoping he turns into a second cornerback after being drafted in the 5th round. I think 5th or 6th round, whatever it was. There's so much needs, and especially in this draft where you got the 2 pick, is Zach Wilson the guy? I mean, that's going to be the question. That's what, our front office, needs to decide is Zach Wilson the guy that you want to draft. You bring him in and you have his service years, his 5 service years, trade Darnold, is that the way to go? I kind of like Zach Wilson now, so I'm steering towards that if you can get good value for Sam. But if not, and your coach is really happy with him, stick with him and trade that pick.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing is, if and I know we're getting to the draft a little bit. If they do go Wilson, for at QB, who's like Darnold's been in the league for what, 4 years?
Yeah,
I mean, we don't have that veteran presence that I would want him, to learn under. Somebody like
James Morgan's the backup quarterback.
So I would want somebody at least, for him to learn under a little bit. And if they're not sure, trade that down, get the picks,
value,
get value, get a lineman, shore up that line, and then next year, see what's in free agency.
The 4 pick, right? Atlanta Falcons need a quarterback of the future. Since he doesn't need one, but then you look at 6, maybe the Eagles trade up for another quarterback, right? Or you got Detroit who needs a quarterback. I don't know how they really feel about Goff, but and then at 8, that's the big player. Everyone thinks they're going to make a move. Carolina Panthers jumping up.
Lance.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know if they, on hold back for Lance, but there's so much talent in terms of tight end, Kyle Pitts looks awesome. And if I could trade back to that 5 spot or 4 spot and grab Pitts or grab a wide receiver, I'm a big fan of Jamar Chase. I want him. I think he's the best wide receiver there is in the draft. I know everybody is a little different between Devonta Smith or who's the other kid from Alabama that I'm blanking on his name.
Waddle.
Yeah, Jalen Waddle. Thank you. But yeah, I mean, so much offensive talent. That's kind of where I want to go towards.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. You know, I was touting it all of last season. You know, I want an offense.
Yeah,
we haven't had an offense in forever.
We stink, man.
I want an offense. Now, I know Sam loves defenses. And I do too.
Yeah,
but at some point, I want to see points on the board. I'm tired of New York, like the Rangers, always having a solid defense, and I love that because obviously defense in hockey wins championships. But still, I want
Artemi Panarin.
I want scorers. I want people that are put.
That's why I want the hog molly. Give me Penny Sewell. Drop back and give me Penny Sewell. I will be happier than a pig in shit.
I mean, there's been some more rumors apparently now that
they got an offense now.
I said there's been some more rumors that Russell Wilson too is a little more discouraged with his team. So who knows? Maybe the Jets can find themselves lucky, and
you're gonna have to give up so much for Russell Wilson. Man.
Maybe we get some more capital this year.
I mean, are they going to give me DK Metcalf too? If they give me DK and Russell Wilson, then I'll give them 4 first-round picks.
That's fair.
If they do that, I'll make that trade. But yeah, I mean, so the Jets have a lot of work. We'll get more into it during the draft. But some decent signings for both teams. A lot of needs still out on the board, but. And with the Jets too, running back is a big need. I like ATN and I also like Harris. I don't think Harris will be there, but I think I'd take ATN. So give me him any day of the week. So, all right. So some other big signings, and there was a lot of stuff going on. Trent Williams re-signs with the 49ers, gets the largest contract ever for a lineman with 6 years, $138 million, $55 million guaranteed. He actually was going to sign, and I saw this, he was going to sign with KC, and then I guess something fell through, and he went back to the 49ers with that big contract. But KC also signs Joe Tooney, who gets that 5-year, $80 million with the Chiefs after they had cut tackles Eric Fisher and Mitchell Schwartz. Could you imagine them with Tooney and Trent Williams? I mean, they're. I already think they're going to win the Super Bowl next year coming up. I already put future money on it, but
it's either going to be that or
yeah, maybe. And then lastly, Lindsley signs with the Chargers on a 5-year deal. So that's the guard centers that I really wanted going elsewhere. And who can blame Joe Tooney for going to the Super Bowl, former Super Bowl champions, right? I mean, get your money. First of all, he got paid, and second of all, he went to a contender. Yeah. I mean, who wants to go to the Jets for an extra $10 million?
Smart man.
Yeah, very smart. So I didn't realize this, and I wrote this in the thing because I didn't see this, but Brady.
Brady saying a 4-year
extension. He's got a 4-year extension.
Which is insane. What is he, 45 right now?
Yeah.
44?
He's going to be played till he's 50. Oh, my God. Like, this is just frustrating.
So my question now is, who's going to last longer? You have Yarmer Yager at age, 50?
Yeah.
Playing in the not KHL. He's in
the KHL. Yeah.
You have there's another guy that's actually playing in, I think it's Japan.
What is this? Zlatan is still playing. Isn't he old for himself?
There's a soccer player in Japan that's like 50. That's
they're all going to be
playing.
What's the oldest player to ever play a professional sport?
So
like high end.
Like will Brady hit that 50 mark?
Oh my God!
Some of these guys, it's
so
insane.
Annoying.
Yeah, I saw that 21 of the 22, I think, Tampa Bay starters have signed.
Yeah.
With the Bucks,
which includes Gronk and Shaq Barrett, who got a monster deal,
which is insane.
Yeah,
they're like we were saying kind of before, definitely gonna be contenders again.
Yep.
It kills me to see
it sucks.
Brady sign and.
So then we talked about Shaq Barrett, him getting paid, but other pass rushers got paid. I mean, you go through the list.
Yeah. So you had Ngakoue.
Ngakoue got
on 2 years, $26 million.
Yeah.
Who knows what the Raiders doing there anyway with their offensive line?
Yep.
Bengals signing Trey Hendrickson for 4 years, $60 million.
Yeah.
After they lost Lawson,
it was a good signing. Hendrickson was awesome for the Saints last year.
You had Titans signing Bud Dupree, away from the Steelers. Romeo Aquara to Lions for 3 years and
$13 million a year.
Million.
Yeah.
There's a lot of great signings there for pass rushers.
Yeah, it's always a big heavy market. The Jets had to pay a lot for Lawson, obviously, and that's just how it goes. If you don't draft these guys and develop them, you're going to pay out the wazoo for some of these guys.
Say even drafting them, and you're paying to keep them.
You still have the former Texan Jadeveon Clowney. You still have him out there, but you have guys that are very talented and know how to get after the quarterback, and they're getting just boatloads. So that's why you see a lot of these guys. They don't want to sign sometimes these large deals. They want to wait till free agency. Yeah. So QBs, right? Tyrod Taylor signs with the Texans as a possible starter if Watson leaves or whatever happens with the legal situation. The Bears sign Andy Dalton to compete for a starting QB position, which is, is he that much better than?
I say they've been kind of
Trubisky
this offseason.
Oh, Trubisky went somewhere. Where did Trubisky go? Yeah, Buffalo. He's the backup. Yeah, good one, Kevin. Yeah, he's going to be backing up Josh Allen, and his care is going to go away because he might throw a couple balls this year, but his name will be brought out for next off season, and it'll be like daisies. Yeah, no one will remember anything. Yeah. What do you got, Sam?
Oh, nothing. I'm just watching the game.
Nice. You got Jacoby Brissett to the Miami as the backup. All new quarterback room in Indy. We talked about. We had Carson Wentz goes to Indy for that trade, a second and a third, and a third this year and a future second next year. It's also conditions. Joe Flacco backing up Hurts in Philly. Footsteps Falco is going to be backing up a guy that runs like crazy. Can you imagine if they design the offense around Hurts and then he has to come in? You have this plotter statue. You're like, oh, well, this is totally different. So that's fun. But yeah, and then
you also have the Beard. With,
Fitzpatrick goes to Washington to be a football team. They cut obviously Alex Smith, which is sad because of what just happened with him the whole year.
Actually, if the Jets were to go Wilson, I don't mind having him.
Give me Alex Smith. As a backup. Yeah, him and James Morgan. He'll even teach James Morgan, who's supposed to be a career backup. Like, get the guys with the brains and that have played quarterback the right way for years. They might not be Alex Smith wasn't the most talented. All right, Aaron Rodgers was clearly in that draft, and 49ers kind of screwed that one up. But he's been a upper echelon, almost Pro Bowl quarterback every year.
I would say he is like a Dak Prescott of now. Dak better, a little bit better.
No, actually, some of Alex Smith's best years were. Yeah, that's actually a really good spot. I like that comparison. Then the wide receivers, right? A lot of movement. The Cards get AJ Green. Keep going through the wide receiver list.
Bill's adding Emmanuel Sanders after he was released from the Saints.
Yeah, he's going to help out Diggs big time.
That's a great signing for them. Marvin Jones and Philip Dorsett to the Jags.
Yeah, who are brother-in-laws. I'm sure not very happy about the Jags getting. Jags have had a weird offseason. Like they've gone full bore under a coach that it should be really building from the draft out, but instead he went after free agents like crazy.
And then the things that kind of hurt me: Patriots going crazy with signings. Obviously, we're signing Cam, which we'll see what happens. Part of it is terrible season last year. I think was due to COVID, being in a new system and everything that kind of happened with the pandemic. But then they signed tight ends Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith, which
so bad
makes that offense.
It hurts so much.
Legitimately even more scary.
I wanted for the Jets Hunter Henry so badly, and Jonnu Smith is very underrated.
Yep.
Another player that the Texans didn't seem to want to really utilize as a big time target, and he's a beast. But I wanted Hunter Henry, and of course he goes to the Patriots.
That one just worries me. The fact that
injury history. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you have them signing Aguilar and Horn, who
very good wide receivers.
Good wide receivers, but I don't think they're worth the money that that they got there.
No, Aguilar did have a very good year, and he's been kind of up and down since Philly, but he's if anyone's going to get the talent out of him, it's going to be Bill Belichick. He's going to have a fantastic year. He'll be a Pro Bowler.
Yeah, that's fair. They also signed quarterback Jalen Mills as well.
Yep.
getting $6 million over 4 years. And then you have,
and then the pass rusher,
yeah,
Matthew Judon, gets the 4-year, 56 from the Pats. And they also get Henry Anderson from former Jets. He'll be a stud over there. He'll be a defensive tackle. He'll just light the Jets up every week, or twice a year. You got the running back market. Aaron Jones re-signs with the Packers for the 4 years, $12 million a year. Now remind me, last year, who did the Packers draft in the first round?
Yeah, A.J. Dillon.
Oh, wait, what position did he play?
I believe running back.
Oh, running back. So very good asset management by their head coach and their GM. Aaron Rodgers, who you could have given a wide receiver to, which he only has one.
Yep.
You could have given him a wide receiver. Instead, you got him a running back who you wanted to be the future, and you had the future in Aaron Jones already, and then you pay him again. Yep. So asset management, fantastic.
So I think the one of the more mind-boggling things too is he wasn't even the backup last year.
No. Yeah, it was
Jamal Williams. Who was who and then who they let go, who I thought played great for them when Aaron Jones was hurt, and A.J. Dillon, played okay. Maybe didn't get the touches and things like that, but that one's just mind-boggling.
It is
that they let at least Jamal Williams go.
I'm okay with letting Jamal Williams go, but the whole point was A.J. Dillon would be your future, and you could have maybe traded Aaron Jones if you wanted to. But instead, you took a draft pick which could have really helped you win a Super Bowl last year when your quarterback won the MVP with only one wide receiver and Valdez-Scantling, who occasionally would catch an 80-yard touchdown. But you had the ability to get weapons for your quarterback who's in the twilight, but playing fantastic in the twilight. It's just,
it'll be interesting to
see.
They have,
sorry, and I don't mean to keep cutting you off. They have A.J. Dillon and Jordan Love. They're two future pieces, and now they're talking about re-signing Aaron Rodgers to a long-term contract. So what are you doing as your GM for the Packers? What is your end game here?
It's because that team's run by the people.
Yeah, people are idiots.
It's interesting. We'll see what happens with the draft and where they go. I would assume they're
another running back.
I would assume they're going to go like a wide receiver, some kind of weapon for Rodgers, but who knows? Then you have, like we just kind of touched upon, Jamal Williams signing with the Detroit Lions and backing up DeAndre Swift. Malcolm Brown to Miami, who I think Malcolm Brown's actually a pretty underrated running back. That's a nice little signing. Playoff Damian being released by the Chiefs. You had Carlos Hyde.
To the Jaguars. Ohio State, baby. Oh, man. Poor Jaguars fans.
Niners was signing Kyle Juszczyk. I can never pronounce his name.
Juszczyk.
Which he's amazing. I love that guy.
I want him in the Jets.
Fullback, running back. Guy can catch balls. He's a great guy. And they had Texans.
Mark Ingram.
And then Philip Lindsay signing with
Houston.
With Houston.
What is Houston doing? They have they have David Johnson. They signed was it Lamar Miller?
No,
who's it?
Didn't they sign Kenyon Drake?
Yes, right. No. There was Kenyon Drake. It was. They already had. We'll look at it. They already had David Johnson. They signed Lindsey, and then Drake went to the Raiders. Yeah. What's Jacobs going to do? I think they love Josh Jacobs there. As the running back, but I know that Texans keep adding more and more running backs, which is just bonkers. So.
Yeah, but the Raiders. I don't understand the Raiders move either. Why do you sign Kenyon Drake when you have Josh Jacobs?
Maybe they're worried about his injury history. I know he keeps getting hurt. I just don't know. There's some teams that just do so many crazy things, and the Jets are one of them. I can't be like, my team's perfect, and then, but yeah.
At least, unlike the Raiders, we didn't dismantle our offensive line and then not even try and rebuild it.
We just talked about it. Mark Ingram got signed by the Texans, so that they bring in Mark Ingram. They had David Johnson, and then they bring in Phil Lindsay. Like what? Three? If you don't have one running back, you have three.
Yeah. And then we have lastly the defensive back market, pretty pricey.
Verrett.
Verrett signing with the 49ers. Washington football team with William Jackson, 3 years for $14 million. Titans getting Titans. No, you have the
Giants got Adoree Jackson, Darby and the Broncos, and then you got a couple other guys signed. But quick trades before we head out. Like I said, Carson Wentz to Indy, You had the Texans trading the linebacker McKinney to the Finns, to the Dolphins for Shaq Lawson. I'm butchering names right now. Rams send Michael Brockers to the Lions, which was fantastic because Brockers sends out that tweet when Goff gets traded for Stafford. Stafford's like, he's like, we just got an upgrade from Goff to Stafford, and then he has to go back on his word when he gets traded to the Lions, and Goff is his quarterback again. And then the Jags trade for defensive tackle Malcolm Brown.
Some interesting stuff that's happened in the past week and a half.
Yeah, and we'll see what happens with a lot of guys. Russell Wilson. We'll still see what happens with other guys. With Houston and what's going to happen on now. Man, the Rangers really like beating up on Philly, huh? 4-0.
Love it.
We'll go through some other news because there's a lot of stuff happening. But why don't we call this one? AJ can give us a little trivia, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, so this one's courtesy of Kevin because I didn't look up one this week. So we'll go with the highest scoring game in NFL history took place between formerly the Washington Redskins and the New York Giants on November 27th, 1996. How many points were scored in that game?
Ooh. It was the Redskins and who? The R words and who? Jags?
Giants.
Oh, Giants. Redskins-Giants really as the highest scoring game of all time?
Yep.
Wow, I wouldn't have thought about that. Sam, do you remember this game?
Back in 96?
96.
I don't think it's going to be over 100, but I'll say 92 points.
Sam, what's your guess?
What's 42 plus 38?
That'd be 80.
All right, I'll say 80.
I think it's more than that.
All right. You want to guess winner too as well?
Oh, it's going to be the Giants.
It's gonna be the Skins.
So that is correct. It was the Skins.
Oh no.
Total points 113.
Wow.
Final score 72-41.
Wow.
So
wow, they 72 points on the Giants.
yeah,
That's
I
bad.
don't even remember that game. You know what? It was if it was in 96, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, I was in high school. I was a senior in high school, so I was probably doing other stuff.
I got one more for you too, real quick, because this is actually a pretty cool one. Which NFL team derives their name from the date that they were founded? As a hint, the date was November 1st.
It means November 1st?
Not necessarily the date itself, maybe the meaning behind the date, or if it's like a
What, the
holiday.
49ers? 49ers?
Not the 49ers. No, 49ers are for the Gold Rush.
Yeah.
You want a hint? It's down south. Down by
What,
the
the
bayou.
Saints?
Oh, the Saints?
Saints. New Orleans Saints. November 1st is All Saints Day for kids.
Oh,
So that's why they are the New Orleans Saints.
not bad. I like that. All right. Well, Sam, take her home, bud.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us for another edition of Football Primetime. I don't know when we're going to be back.
Draft show's next. Draft show.
We're going to have to pig out for our draft show.
Wings.
I'm down.
Steaks.
Ooh.
Veggie burgers.
Bobbleheads.
Bobbleheads. This is Football Primetime.